Welcome to the Zone Coverage Football Show. Love that.
And that's the wrong button, folks. Here we go. Let's try that again.
You're listening to the Zone Coverage Football Show, where opinions, passion, and pride are always on the line. Live from Tees Towers, here's your host, Mark Tees.
Oh dear. Hello, and welcome along to the Zone Coverage Football Show. And do not worry, the love line, I don't know what happened there. My fat fingers got the better of me. Anyway, hello and welcome. It is Sunday, the 28th of December. Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you've had some awesome NFL-based gifts. And tweet the show. What have you had off Santa? NFL related at Zone Coverage FS. Fingers crossed you are listening via TuneIn and the Spreaker apps. Keep saying it every single week now. The Spreaker app's got the little chat room in the corner. Whilst my fat fingers and mind can't do two things at once, as in talking and messaging you back on that, just feel free to ask questions, whatever, if there's something wrong with the show. I do have a snazzy new headset that Santa bought me for Christmas. So you've all seen it on Soccer Saturday where they go to the grounds and they've got these big fat headsets on with a little mic. I'm now donning one of them. I look a bit of a prat. Nothing new there, but fingers crossed the sound quality is coming across okay. Right then, fat fingers aside, live-wise, tune in, Spreaker. You can listen back as a podcast. I know quite a few of you do that, especially with Christmas and all the family and all that around, and you can't listen live. That's fair dues. That stuff sort of happens. So go to iTunes, subscribe, leave us some feedback. I did actually get another rating on iTunes, and I forgot to jot that down, so I'll cover that base on Wednesday's show. Talking of Wednesday's show, the Wednesday walkthrough, that happened on Wednesday. That went down pretty well. Hope everyone enjoyed that. So there will be another one coming up this week, rounding up the regular season finale. And that might drop there on Tuesday, because Wednesday is New Year's Eve. I'm away for the evening with the wife. She has treated me to an evening away, so that should be good fun. So it's probably going to drop Tuesday. I've not nailed down the time yet, because I've also been collared for taking the wife's nan to the doctors. So busy my end, just running around doing endless nonsense chores. But hey ho, that's life. Right then, what do we have coming up on today's show? We have the hot route, but the hot route's changing. I had a fantastic email, so I am mixing up the hot route completely. So bear with me for that. NFL news. In fairness, there's not a lot of NFL news. And for about 4 or 5 days, I went completely missing off Twitter. I just sat on my rear end, watching TV, stuffing my fat face. It was a good few days, so there's not a great deal of news. And if there was, I sort of missed it, but never mind. Weekend Words, are going to have a look at that as well. We will also have a look, no love line, even though I pressed the wrong button at the top of the show. The Not So Great 8, we're going to run down that as well. I've done like a heroes and villains section for the division, and it's not individual. I'm basing it on like teams who I feel performed above what I thought they'd do at the beginning of the year, so they get like a hero status. And then the villains, like a team that I thought might win the division but finish bottom. They're the villains. So we've got that coming up. I do believe that Simon is busy cooking away in his new fandangled oven at the moment. He's cooking a duck. Sounds very nice. He's aiming to be on the show. I don't think there's going to be any real fantasy advice, just a general chit-chat, see what Santa's brought him along. So we'll have that. Tom from Huddle Magazine messaged me about 10 minutes ago. He's saying, I've got a house full. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it on the show, so apologies. To be expected. Everyone is it's Christmas, isn't it? House full, utter madness. Fan versus fan. No fan versus fan this week. I did put the call out earlier in the week for Bengals and Steelers fans. Few people sort of interested, but again, with it being Christmas, sort of commitments and stuff, it was been difficult to fill that. So none of that this week. Game previews. Going to preview every single game. Hopefully, unlike last week, I shall get to the entirety of all those. So that is your game previews coming up. Also going to look at... Yes, we shall have a look at the Pro Bowl teams if we get time. So I'm a bit miffed. A few people on there missed off. So we'll get to that as we go. So... let's get this new hot route underway. I daren't press any buttons now because I pressed the wrong one earlier. But yeah, the hot route should sound something like this.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out.
So the hot route this week and going forward, it's I had a fantastic email, and I should read you the email. And as I said, I say every show really, I am completely open to suggestions and feedback. And I had a brilliant email from Terry Rolt. Terry doesn't do Facebook or Twitter, but he did find the thread to the show in the NFL UK forum. So he took the time out, wrote me a fantastic email. So I'll read that out to you so you get the gist of what's going on. He says, "Hi Mark, I know you always after a bit of feedback, so I thought I'd try to say something. I've been listening live since about week 5 or 6 after seeing your ad in the forum. It's a fantastic lead up to the game time, and I genuinely can't believe how quick it goes. I work during the week, but the Wednesday walkthrough's been a great idea, and I listened back in the evening last week. My idea is something to replace or accompany the hot route. The hot route is a good item, but apart from the original blurb every week, it doesn't really get much discussion. It doesn't. No one really phones in on the hot route. I sort of set it, and it's sort of swept under the rug. So, anyway, it goes on to say maybe we could mix it up, get listeners to vote. So we get you guys to interact with the show. And he says his suggestion basically was we could have like 3 passes of the week, 3 touchdowns, sacks, interceptions, and hopefully get some radio comms to go along with that. And he goes on and sings me praises, but I won't repeat that because that's just big-headed of me. But Terry Rolt sent an amazing email. We've swapped few emails back and forth, so much appreciated there. And he's a 49ers fan, so your season stunk as much as mine did being a Jets fan. So Terry, hope you had a great Christmas and appreciate the email, sir. So right then, the hot route, which we usually set as a question of the day, has got a twist. This week I am doing week 16, who had the best rushing touchdown of week 16, and I've compiled a shortlist basically. Was it Marshawn Lynch against the Cardinals, Jeremy Hill against the Broncos, or Frank Gore against the Chargers? And to help you all decide, I have got this little gem for you. So here we go. You lot have a listen to this, and this should help you decide.
Lynch, he stutter steps, breaks through the line, makes a man miss, cuts back outside right 30, 35, 40, down the far sidelines, pushes a defender, keeps fighting, he's still moving, he's going to go, down to the 20, the 15, they're chasing at 10, he dives in, are you kidding me?
What
Touchdown,
a run. Oh
Seahawks! Holy catfish, 79 yards, and that made Beastquake look like a walk in the park.
Shotgun snap to Dalton. Hands off out of the gun. He gives to Hill. Breaks the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Outside the numbers the 20. Gets a block at the 30. Up the near side the 40. Cuts back inside the numbers the 50. Being chased now to the 40. He's down the middle on the hash mark the 30. They're chasing him 20. On the numbers the 10. The 5. They chase him into the end zone. Jeremy Hill has just taken it to the house.
That's one good way to get the confidence back for your quarterback, because he doesn't even have to throw a pass, and you get into the end zone.
Offset backs on first down as Gore gets the carry to the right side into Charger territory, breaks 2 tackles to the 35, a stiff arm at the 30, weaves back to the 20, down the right sideline to the 10, he's gonna go, touchdown, Frank Gore, busting tackles, stiff arming defenders, takes it 52 yards, and the San Francisco 49ers have a 6-0 lead.
That is a tremendous run by Frank Gore, the aging Frank Gore, but everybody wonders if this guy's going to be back in a uniform, a 49ers uniform. He's letting everybody know he has a lot left in the tank. He is an outstanding player, very patient at the line of scrimmage, breaks between 2 defenders, stiff arms Weddle, cuts back in, goes right back out to the sideline. Big time run by Frank Gore.
And that is radio commentary there of the Lynch touchdown. That comes via Seahawks radio by play-by-play man Steve Rabel. And the Hill touchdown. That's courtesy of Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner. They called the action for Westwood One Sports. And the Frank Gore TD, that's courtesy again from Westwood One Sports. Kevin Colgate and Rod Woodson calling the action there. Best to cover my rear end when playing these radio clips, just in case. So I've just sent a tweet out. If you guys want to sort of get in touch, and we'll announce the winner. Not that Marshawn Lynch, Jeremy Hill, or Frank Gore will remotely care about this little radio show over in the UK, what everyone thinks, but we thought we'd mix it up on the hot route, so that is what we are doing going forward. So if you want to tweet into the show, that's at Zone Coverage FS, hashtag Gore, hashtag Lynch, hashtag Hill. Simple. I'll sort of compile a little list. And also let me know what you think about that. Is that a good idea? A nice little twist what we're doing there? Something a little different? And with that, the phone lines are open. If you want to chat to me, tell me what Santa's bought you, feel free. The number 0161 818 4593. That is 0161 818 4593. You can also hit me up on, Skype. That is T-Smister, T-E-E-C-E Mister, T-Smister, T-E-E-C-E Mister. And talking of Twitter, at Zone Coverage FS. And we'll jump over, and Will Davis, every single show, he's the first one in, says, evening, only one thing needs saying this week. Come on, you Chargers. Important stat, Philip Rivers is 8-0 in Week 17 games. So that's Will Davis at Not Only a Hat Rack. All the best to your Chargers, sir. And welcome aboard, as always, John Bradshaw, our pal in Australia, who actually on the Wednesday walkthrough, if you listen back, it was actually Christmas Day when I was broadcasting over in Oz, and he said, Happy Christmas, that was fantastic. He's just said, greetings, trying to stay awake, but I'm way too tired. It's 2:30 a.m. We'll have to download tomorrow like usual. Go you Cowboys, cheers. So that's John Bradshaw. His Twitter handle is at OzPorkHunter22. So awesome stuff there, guys. And I've got another little tweet here. It says, nice work with the audio. That's John again. I'll have to say hashtag Lynch. So that is Lynch with a vote there. And John's still with us. Brilliant stuff. We're keeping you from your beauty sleep, John. Right then. Again, hashtag Hill, hashtag Lynch, hashtag Gore on this week's Hot Route. Let me know what you think. And if you want to get in touch with the show, I forget his name now. Mine's gone blank. If you want to get in touch with the show, just like Terry did, Terry Rolt, go to the website www.zonecoveragefootballshow.com. There's a contact form on there. Just fill that in, whatever you want, suggestions and all that. And as you can see, I take that on board, and I'll try and rehash the show and keep it nice and entertaining for you guys. So awesome stuff there. Right then, let's get into some NFL news. Wow, must remember to turn that one down after playing the audio. The audio to the radio calls was a little quieter than the audio for the rest of me sound drops. Very, very professional, my end. Right then, into the news. There's only a few items I've got here, in fairness. The first one being that the Dolphins announced that Joe Philbin will return as head coach in 2015. Dolphins fans, what do you think about this move? Is this more a the Dolphins sort of like looking at the overall picture and some continuity with Ryan Tannehill? He's made some leaps and strides this season with Bill Lazor running the offense there, and if they chopped Philbin, does that mean that Lazor goes and Tannehill has to start all over again? So Philbin is back 2015. That is the last year of his contract. How do you feel about that, Dolphins fans? Is this a good move, bad move, or what? By the way, the Jets are going to ruin your season. It's already ruined, but 8-8, you are the new Dallas Cowboys. It's going down today in Miami. That's going to backfire in my face dramatically. Anyway, there'll be no team in LA this year, as the Raiders are expected to announce a new one-year extension at the Coliseum. I've not seen any update on that since. This was at the beginning of the week. I saw that. And on what you didn't see on the radio call of the Marshawn Lynch touchdown, he was fined $11,050. I'm curious, where does the $50 come from? It's $11,000. Who's that? What's the 50? Is that like admin charge for the email to Marshawn, or what? What's going on there? Someone needs to explain to me. NFL fines, because I haven't got a sodding clue. So anyway, Marshawn Lynch was fined $11,050 for unsportsmanlike conduct. If you've seen this, he dives into the end zone backwards, grabbing his balls as he does, and sort of does like that Michael Jackson crotch grab thing. I can't do the sound effect, but you know what he does. So Marshawn Lynch got $11,000 fine for basically scratching his nuts. Very, very odd. I don't get that. Anyway, how would you recover from that? With Alex Smith. He will not be playing today as he's got a lacerated spleen. In steps Chase Daniel. So the Chiefs Chargers fans licking their lips at that thought there. How odd would it be today if Alex Smith is out and they've not thrown a touchdown pass to a receiver all for, 12 months and a couple of weeks now, and he pings a couple into wide receivers? That'd be really odd. Then it's sort of, let's spawn a stupid narrative that Alex Smith can't throw touchdown passes to receivers. Anyway, let's just skip over that. Stop. Talking of quarterbacks that are not playing, no Johnny Manziel, no Hoyer, as the Browns will start Connor Shaw. I have no idea who Connor Shaw is. I don't even know that Connor Shaw knows who he is, but he will start against the Ravens today. Manziel's on IR, and Brian Hoyer, they just don't like you anymore, Brian. Face the facts. It's a Browns news theme. Wide receiver Josh Gordon, he's been suspended for the last game of the season. He's been breaking team rules, apparently. And there's a bit of a stink kicking up about this because you need to play in 6 games to sort of accrue a year towards free agency and stuff like that. So there's all sorts of madness once again surrounding Josh Gordon. Will he remain with the Browns? Will he be traded elsewhere? Who knows? It's just an absolute mess. And little Johnny Football, he's been fined. He got fined for being late to medical treatment. So all is not well in Cleveland Browns land. I'm just going to check it. That's all the news I've got, in fairness. There's not a great deal going on. Just going to check in on, if I can just close this window. There's a little window popped up here. It's the Spreaker app. So here we go, yes. John McDonald, our resident Vikings fan. Merry Christmas, John. Hope all is well with you. He says he loves the idea of the new hot route, #Lynch. So that's awesome. I like it, Ness. Nice feedback as we go in. Check in on Twitter as well at Zone Coverage FS. We have one from Robert at, I can't say that, at Robert Guxdat. Anyway, it's Robert GEAUXDAT. Robert says, I would say Lynch. I am biased towards LSU. But his vote goes to Hill. So that's a vote for Jeremy Hill on this week's Hot Route. We have Marty at Toontime88 says, missing a live show. We'll catch you later, mate. Is the Hot Route vote for who's best? No, Marty. The vote. You got to vote for the best touchdown run. I'll try and reply to Marty. So let's do that as we go. Right then. On to Weekend Words. Let's get to the Weekend Words. Keep those tweets coming in at Zone Coverage FS on the Spreaker app. I did some research and the Spreaker app seems to be very popular. So if you're listening via like an Android device, via a tablet, just download, search for the show. A little chat box comes up. Chat into the show. I can see those. They pop up in a nice little window, and I can't chat and do this. You know me. So if you want to do that, feel free. I believe you can do it on TuneIn as well, but I just don't have the window that pops up on the TuneIn app. So if you're messaging me via TuneIn, I'm not being rude. I just got the Spreaker app open. That's all it is. Let's jump to the phone calls of a good friend, Biff. Hello, Biff.
Good afternoon, Mark.
How are you, sir?
I'm not too bad yourself.
I'm very good. A belated Merry Christmas.
Yeah, back at you.
Appreciate that, buddy. What can I do for you?
Well, you asked me to ring in because you threw me under the bus last week.
Yes, I did. Yeah. For those of you that missed that, we had like an impromptu fan versus fan, which you did win, sir.
Yes, I did.
So that was not a bad thing, in fairness. So yeah, I did say ring back because it was a case of, here you go, here's the bus, get yourself under there. I have no idea what you were ringing for last week with that then, Biff. So what's on your mind?
Nothing, I was just ringing in because you asked to ring in. Come on, Mark.
Well, yeah. Well, what do you want to talk about then, Biff? What?
Let's talk about Black Monday.
Black Monday. All right then, cool.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Who do you think's getting the bullet?
Rex is definitely going because there's reports out that he's clearing out his desk.
Yeah.
What? I was going to ask this question later on. It's in my game previews. Mike Smith for the Falcons. What happens if they get in and say they get in, lose? Is he still gone? Are their minds made up there?
I think he's gone.
The Titans. I think a lot of coaching jobs are going there. Quarterback coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators are going there as well.
Yeah, Auckland, you have Tony Soprano.
Yeah, Soprano's going to go. Also, there's a report that Jim Harbaugh, he's now taking the Michigan job, so there's going to be a job opening there in San Francisco as well. Who else is stunk this year?
The Bears.
Sorry?
The Bears.
The Bears, yes. Will Tressman go?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think he's going to go? It's a tough one, isn't it? Lovie Smith, I heard rumours about Lovie going and Tampa, but I can't see that. Not after just one season. It'd be a bit harsh.
No, I think they're going to give him another season. Give him a quarterback.
The crazy sort of rumour that I've heard so far is maybe Sean Payton. But that'd be a massive shock. Could you see that happening?
No. It's too soon after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. I think they just need to tweak a few things there in the Saints, and they'll be ready to go next year, I think.
Yeah, well, Bad Santa's going to get the sack, isn't he? In fairness.
Yeah. Well, I know the Saints have the worst cap next season.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
That's usually something the Cowboys dial up.
I think the Cowboys are okay this year.
Well, they've still got to sort out their free agency, haven't they? Because they're going to have DeMarco Murray hitting free agency and Des Bryant. Yeah.
I think what's their owner's name?
Jerry Jones?
Yeah, said he's not going anywhere.
Who? Des?
Fever Des.
Yeah, I would imagine they're going to keep Des. There's a lot of sort of speculation as well. Adrian Peterson to the Cowboys. I've seen that quite a lot.
I read an article this morning on Bleacher Report that a good idea would be to trade for Jay Cutler and sign Mike Shanahan to the Jets.
Who, sorry?
Shanahan.
I don't know. I don't know about
No. No, I can't stand Cutler, and I'm not a fan of Shanahan either.
Cutler's better than Gino, in fairness. I'd take Cutler. He's got a decent arm. He's talented. He just walks around like he's got a smacked arse, in fairness.
Yeah, he's just a miserable muppet.
Very true. I could see that. I don't know. Cutler, he's better than what we've got. The only thing that concerns me is his wages. Is it $15 million? I don't know what's going to happen in regards to that. But
and what about the Giants head coach? Will he retire?
Coughlin, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because if you look at what the Giants have been doing, they started off iffy, in fairness. Eli Manning looked awful, and then he's got to grips with the Ben McAdoo system. Him and Odell Beckham Jr., who's just blown the doors off the NFL this season. They've built up a fantastic rapport. They've got something like 20-odd people on IR. The running backs have been hurt. A couple of tight ends look decent. It's clear that Manning isn't the problem, as much as that kills me to say that. I don't know if he gets one more year.
He could retire.
He could. They're never going to sack him. In fairness, if he does sort of like get the poor shit, it'll be dressed up as in retiring or that. They're never going to sack him because of what he's done. You've only got to look at what he's done. I'd say couple of Super Bowls and that.
Yeah, and a report came out that Miami are going to keep Philbin.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
That's such a nice guy.
Is that sarcastically said?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure which route you were going there. I don't get the Philbin thing, but the only reason I can see why he's staying is because Bill Lazor is his guy, and they want to keep Ryan Tannehill sort of improvement going forward. So that's the only reason I can see them sticking with Philbin. Nice, yeah, because again, it kills me to say, but Tannehill's looked pretty damn good this season.
Yeah, he's had his moments.
Yeah, I think he's taken the steps in the right direction.
Yeah, will you watch the Jets now this evening, or contending a
playoff decider? I am probably gonna watch, in fairness, one of the playoff games.
Yeah, which one?
Who's on first? Is it the Falcons, Panthers? I fancy watching that. I think that could be a sneaky good. The Lions and Packers is going to be a good game,
I
think
that'd be a cracker.
Yeah, that will be a good game. But I like the air of desperation around the Packers. I mean the Panthers and the Falcons.
Yeah.
For me, that one's a bit more meatier, and they've both got no defense, so it could be a high-scoring good game. And it's a division. Well, I know the Packers game's divisional as well, but I just think the Panthers are going to sneak in bizarrely.
Yeah, I don't really care about that division.
That's fair enough. What are you doing then, Biff? Are you going to watch the Jets, or are you going to grab...
I'm going to watch the Jets and drink some alcohol.
I was going to say, that's a recommendation.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it for my sins.
Yeah, I shall catch it later on. I'm going to watch all the the playoff games, all those with the implications going forward, I think, and then I'll catch up with the Jets on Game Pass probably tomorrow.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you go, Mark.
Okay, then, Beth. Appreciate the call, buddy. I hope you've had a great Christmas.
Yeah, it was nice and quiet.
Good, man. Oh,
kids enjoyed it.
Good. I'm glad they had a good time. We won't say too much about Sons of Anarchy for those people that haven't seen it, but that how they wrapped up Sons of Anarchy, the season finale there, were you happy with that?
Yeah.
It was a good show, wasn't it? Yeah, I like what they did with that.
It ending. Yeah, it was very slow compared to the season before.
Yeah, I suppose you're sort of wrapping up dead ends and stuff, ain't it? So,
yeah. Yeah, no, the last episode, no, I thought was very good.
Yeah, and me too. I liked what they did there. Good stuff. Right then, Biff, I shall let you go. I appreciate the call, buddy, and no throwing you under the bus this week, so that's always nice.
All right.
All right then, mate. Take care, buddy, and I'll speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
See you, mate. And that was Biff at Biffaroo Jet on Twitter there. Just looking back in on Spreaker, we have Noel at Blue Lion Man. He says, just got in, better late than never. Hello, Noel. Hope all is well with you. Let's have a look at the voting now. So I think with a few people jumping in late, let's go over the hot route again. If you are late to the show, the hot route's changed this week. Rather than just ringing in with like a hot topic, we had a fantastic email this past week from Terry. So Terry suggested that we mix up the hot route and maybe sort of like get everyone to tweet into the show at Zone Coverage FS and sort of vote for like 3 good plays of the week, be a touchdown, rushing touchdown, a fantastic reception, a sack, and something like that, and play along the radio comms. So I've managed to dig those up. I'll play those again in a minute so you can get the gist of what went down in case you missed that. But the 3 touchdowns that are up for debate today, rushing touchdowns from Week 16, we have the Marshawn Lynch Beastquake 2 touchdown that he reeled off against the Cardinals. And then we have the Jeremy Hill touchdown against the Broncos from Monday night. And then going back to last Saturday, we have the Frank Gore touchdown against the San Diego Chargers. So I will play you this again. Gives you time to sort of make up your mind a little bit more. And then just tweet into the show, #Hill, #Lynch, #Gore. So here we go, if I can find the right one.
Lynch, he stutter steps, breaks through the line, makes a man miss, cuts back outside right 30, 35, 40, down the far sidelines, pushes the defender, keeps fighting, he's still moving, he's going to go down to the 20, the 15, they're chasing him 10, he dives in, are you kidding me?
What
Touchdown,
a run! Oh
Seahawks! Holy catfish! 79 yards, and that made Beastquake look like a walk in the park.
Shotgun snap to Dalton. Hands off out of the gun. He gives to Hill. Breaks the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Outside the numbers, the 20. Gets a block at the 30. Up the near side, the 40. Cuts back inside the numbers, the 50. Being chased now to the 40. He's down the middle on the hash mark, the 30. They're chasing him to the 20. On the numbers, the 10, the 5. They chase him into the end zone. Jeremy Hill has just taken it to the house.
That's one good way to get the confidence back for your quarterback, is he doesn't even have to throw a pass, and you get into the end zone.
Offset backs on first down as Gore gets the carry to the right side into Charger territory, breaks 2 tackles to the 35, a stiff arm at the 30, weaves back to the 20, down the right sideline to the 10, he's going to go, touchdown, Frank Gore, busting tackles, stiff arming defenders, takes it 52 yards, and the San Francisco 49ers have a 6-0 lead.
That is a tremendous run by Frank Gore, the aging Frank Gore, but everybody wonders if this guy's going to be back in a uniform, a 49ers uniform. He's letting everybody know he has a lot left in the tank. He is an outstanding player, very patient at the line of scrimmage, breaks between 2 defenders, stiff arms Weddle, cuts back in, goes right back out to the sideline. Big time run by Frank Gore.
So they are the radio comms then for those touchdowns. I'll just run through those again so I don't get sued. The Lynch touchdown came via a Steve Reibel from the Seahawks radio play-by-play man. The Hill comms there comes from Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner on Westwood One Sports, and also for Westwood One Sports for the Frank Gore touchdown, that was via Kevin Colger and Rod Woodson with the calls there. So that is this week's Hot Route. #Lynch, #Hill, #Gore. Get those tweets into the show at Zone Coverage FS. As always, the phone lines are open, 0161 818 45 and 93. Right then, let's do weekend words. A couple of quotes from around the league last week. This is what Johnny Manziel had to say on Life in Cleveland. It was a learning process for me, and regardless of what happens moving forward into the last game of the season, this has really been a great thing for me, a very positive thing for me to get in here with these guys. This week, going through the walkthrough and going through everything else, I was a lot sharper, a lot more on top of stuff. I think these guys see me and see what I am in the building, see me putting in the work, and see that I want to be that guy. That's what I want to be for this organisation. If anything, this has motivated me more heading into this off-season. So Johnny giving a little insight there into how life in Cleveland has developed for him during his rookie season. I have sort of a Manziel theme. I don't like this. But Cam Newton, he had a lot to say. Well, not exactly a great deal to say, but he was unhappy about the Panthers fans that were cheering when Manziel got hurt during last week's game. This is what Cam had to say. I just think it was classless at that time. Anytime a person is hurt, you don't celebrate. I have done that. I have had that done in my career. It takes the integrity out of the game. So harsh words. Well, not harsh words. Damn right, really, Cam Newton. It is a fella quarterback, a fella NFL player getting booed when you're getting injured. There's no need for that. It's a bit stupid. Everyone's favourite quote comes from veteran wide receiver Steve Smith on about the couch quarterbacks following the Texans beat down with the Ravens. He had this to say: "We expect and understand and anticipate all of the negative feedback and all of that fat, lazy, sorry couch quarterbacks are going to come out with. We expect that and understand that. We are not going to pay attention to it." Steve, and saying and preempting that there's going to be grief via the fat, lazy, sorry couch quarterbacks, you have paid attention to it. So as much as I love you, Steve, your outburst was slightly flawed. Anyway, moving on to what Tony Romo had to say in regards to Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett. Romo said this: Jason is the best head coach in the league. Killed me not to laugh there. That's not what Romo says, that's just me interrupting. Let's get back to it. Jason is the best head coach in the league that no one talks about. I mean, he's really gifted at his ability to communicate with his players. He's got a great mind for the game of football. Okay. And then he went on to talk about Jerry Jones. One of the best things Jerry has done was just stand by him and let his system, his mantra, his philosophy play itself out. I think that you've seen the dividends there. You're reaping the rewards of having them stay in place. Jason is going to figure it out. He is as good of a coach as I have ever been around. He's special. So that's Romo on the Cowboys management and Gaffer. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that is that. Let's do some game previews. I feel we should do that. Now we'll get back to the not so great 8 in a moment. But before that, let's check in on Twitter. Robert with the Twitter handle that I could not announce has given me a few pronunciation tips there. So the bit I was struggling one is pronounced go. So Robert Godat. Awesome. Got it. Sorted. And apologies, Robert, for making a mess of that there, sir. It was not intentional. I just can't speak at the best of times. And throwing a big long word like that in front of me, it's not good. Here we go. At Tinley24, hashtag Hill. Happened at an important time in the game for the Bengals. Great run for the rookie too. So that is another vote for Hill there. I will say this. Poor Frank Gore. No one's voted for Frank. Never mind, Frank. Right then, let's get into some game previews. Heads up before we get into this. Let's give you the times on Sky. 6 o'clock game. Panthers at Falcons. And then we have the Chargers, Chiefs. I think that's about 9:25. The late game tonight is the Bengals at Steelers. And that's on Channel 4. No Monday night game. Boo. No Thursday night games. Boo. The season's nearly over. Boo. It's not good. I don't like it. Anyway, let's get into this. The 9-6 Chargers go to the 8-7 Chiefs. It goes like this for the Chargers. A win and they are in. Also, they'll get in if they tie and the Ravens tie or lose. For the Chiefs, it's very, very confusing. The Chiefs are in. Hang on, let me read this properly. The Chiefs are in, and if it's a big if, yeah, they win. Plus the Ravens and the Texans lose or tie. But again, the Chiefs are without Alex Smith. He's got a lacerated spleen, so expect them to lean on the running game. You can also take heart in the fact that the 49ers ran all over the Chargers last week. The Chiefs are averaging 120.5 yards a game. And like I say, the Chargers were absolutely decimated by Frank Gore last Saturday. The Chargers, talking of running backs, they are without Glass, Ryan Matthews. Keenan Allen, he's also listed as doubtful, or he was a couple of days ago when I last looked. And Malcolm Floyd, he's going to be the guy. They need some more heroics from him, sir. Tight end Antonio Gates absolutely loves playing against the Chiefs. He's had 15 touchdowns against the Chiefs. So maybe if you're a betting man, I shouldn't really encourage this. So massive disclaimer, but maybe if you like to gamble and you had that fact in front of you that Antonio Gates likes playing against the Chiefs and he scored 15 touchdowns to get him, maybe you put some money on it, maybe you wouldn't. That decision lies solely in the hands of you. That's me backed out of that one. On then into the next game, which is the Panthers 6-8-1 at the 6-9 Falcons. It's on Sky. Simple, very, very simple. This is the sort of playoff scenario I like. Win, you're in. No, you win. The guy down the road wins. Someone across the other side of the country has a tie. They beat you 4 weeks ago, but their mums, brothers, sisters, cousins, auntie knows someone who can get you in via the back door. None of that. Winning, you're in. I like that. Simple. Right then. The Panthers, they've won 3 of the last 4 meetings between the two, and both teams will be looking to take advantage of the poor defences. The Falcons give up an average of 404 yards per game. The Panthers, 343 yards per game. The key to victory for the Falcons, Julio Jones. He's set to return. I think he was back last week following his hip injury, and Jones has amassed 623 yards off 33 receptions during his last 4 games. That is an astonishing 18.8 yards per catch. Yes, I had my calculator out earlier. For the Panthers, running back Jonathan Stewart, his emergence over the last few weeks hasn't gone unnoticed. He leads the NFL over the course of the last 4 weeks with 437 yards rushing. And never underestimate the impact of my boy, tight end, Greg Olsen. I reckon he's the second best tight end in the league. Very underestimated. Can Mike Smith save his job with a playoff berth, or is the damage already done? A question we asked when Biff rung the show earlier on. On then into the next game, the next big playoff game. The Bengals 10-4-1 at the Steelers 10-5. This is your Channel 4 game. Everyone's staying up for this. No one's going to work Monday because you should all still be off drinking and eating mince pies and stuff. The playoff scenario for these pair goes like this. They're both in as it stands. It's all about seedings and getting a home game in the playoffs, as both can fluctuate from as high as 3rd to 5th seed. In Week 16, the story of the team's fortunes revolved around the defense. The Bengals picked off Peyton Manning 4 times, and the Pittsburgh Steelers kept Alex Smith and the Chiefs to just 4 field goals. The game potentially has it all. Red Sanchez, a.k.a. Andy Dalton, in prime time. That's just a recipe for disaster minus last Monday. And in fairness, Andy Dalton didn't do a great deal in that game. Plus then you've got the Jekyll and Hyde nature of this Steelers team. Some weeks they can blow the doors off you with 50, 60 points. The week after they can lose to someone like the Jets. So we never ever know. On paper, the Steelers have the better offense, and I'd say the Bengals have the better defense. They can reel off numerous stats to make compelling arguments for both, but I'm just too lazy. And all the stats you need, you already know about the great players on either team. It should be an absolutely fascinating game, one I am definitely looking forward to. So that's the Bengals at Steelers to decide who wins the North. Right then, on then into the next big game, 11-4 Packers, and the 11-4 Detroit Lions. This is at Lambeau. So, like the Steelers and the Bengals, both are in, but the winner could have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Sounds simple, eh? Right then. This is a tricky one. The next few get tricky. The Lions win or tie. The North is there. They can get home field advantage if they win, plus the Seahawks and Cardinals lose or tie. Or the Seahawks and Cards lose and the Cowboys lose or tie. Still with me? I'm confused. I don't know what I've just said. On to the Packers. A win, they clinch the North and a first round bye. They can get home field advantage if they win, the Seahawks lose or tie. Wow, I need a drink. We all know about Jordy Nelson, Random Cobb, Megatron, Golden Tate, all fantastic. But the matchup I'm looking forward to, Eddie Lacy against this Lions run D. This should be an absolutely fascinating battle. So looking forward to that. That is your Lions and Packers game. That'll be on Game Pass, by the way. Just check in on Twitter. Rich Tinley asks, who is your picks for offensive and defensive rookie of the year? Oh, tricky. Well, offensively, I was all over Mike Evans in fairness at first, but Odell Beckham's going to sneak that. Defensively, what's his name now? The guy for the Ravens. What's his name? Guy for the Ravens. I should have wrote it down. He's had a good season. And also Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack's had a good year for the Raiders. So one of them two, in fairness. Kyle Fuller was maybe a good shout early on, but he's faded as of the Bears' fortunes. Right then, on into, the Jets, 3-12 at the 8-7 Dolphins. The Jets will be looking to inflict yet another 8-8 season on the Dolphins. The entire team sucks, especially the quarterback position. The running game is the only highlight, but neither CJ2K or Chris Ivory has yet to break the 800-yard barrier on the year. The Jets ran what felt like 2,345 consecutive plays on the Dolphins in the first meeting between the two, but they still managed to squeak out a defeat, as only the Jets can do. The Dolphins, well, it's pretty simple for them. They've got to shore up that run D. It's been poor over the last few weeks. They've been gashed and it's been embarrassing. Jarvis Landry and Mike Wallace, they could be in for productive afternoons. In fairness, can Ryan Tannehill learn to let go of the football on time, connect with the deep ball and abuse the Jets secondary? Can they break this 8-8 threshold, or will Rex and co have one last laugh? Either way, I'm not watching. I'm going to be watching one of the playoff games. I will catch it later on the Game Pass, so I will put myself through that sort of misery on Monday. On then into the Browns, 7-8 Browns at the 9-6 Ravens. The Ravens, they can still make the postseason, but they find themselves on the outside looking in. They need to beat the Browns and need to hope for a Chargers loss or tie. They can even tie the game and get in if the Chargers lose. The Browns, however, they're just looking to play spoiler, and in doing so, they'll end a run of 4 straight defeats. Despite the Ravens' run game struggles of late, Justin Forsett has emerged as one of the top backs throughout the season within the NFL. He's averaging 5.3 yards per carry. Joe Flacco, he's 12-1 against the Browns. That will be minus Hoyer and Manziel. I can actually confirm Manziel missing from the game. Family members managed to find him after he got lost in an abundance of Christmas wrapping paper that covered the floor. He was heard screaming late in the afternoon after seeking refuge between 2 floorboards. So Johnny Manziel is alive and well after Christmas Day. I think we should just move on, as that's just me having a cheap shot at Manziel. On to Twitter. I've got 6 notifications. Twitter's going wild. At Zone Coverage FS. Right then, I need a drink. I've got no sounder to play for a drink. Ron's tweeted in at RocketRon_65 on about Defensive Rookie of the Year. Well, Rookie of the Year in general. He goes with Odell Beckham, and he says it's a toss-up between Mac and Donald for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Ron and Marty's getting in on that one. He's gone Khalil Mack defensive, Odell Beckham for offensive. So there's a lot of back and forth going on Twitter there between at Tinley24, at Toontime88 and at RocketRon_65. So appreciate that, guys. Awesome stuff as always. Right then, let's get back into, what did I just do? I had a cheap shot at Johnny Manziel. That was it. Cowboys. The 11-4 Cowboys at the 4-11 Washington Redskins. Let's get this out of the way before going into the Cowboys playoff scenario. RG3, he wasn't exactly fantastic last week, but he's definitely showed some signs that he can be coached up during the off-season. So all is not lost on the RG3 front. In fairness, you've got to feel sorry for the playmakers such as Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garçon and even Alfred Morris. They've been somewhat casualties of this faltering quarterback system in Washington throughout the course of the season. It's been brittle for them. The Cowboys playoff stuff, home field advantage if they win. The Cardinals lose, tie. The Packers, Lions tie. It's just utter madness. First round bye if they win. The Seahawks lose or tie, and the Cardinals do the same, or win. And then, or they can get in via, it's so confusing for the Cowboys. If they win, both the Lions and the Packers tie. And there's 2 more ridiculously complicated outcomes for all this. It just blew my mind the other week writing all this down. The other day. All you need to know, the Cowboys can go 8-0 on the road. I don't think anyone else has done that for a long time. Should have checked that stat, would have sounded a lot smarter, and would have been a smoother transition into the next game. The 10-5 Colts at the 2-13 Titans. No one cares. Moving on. Now, joking aside, the Colts will look to bounce back to winning ways ahead of their playoff game following a beatdown by the Cowboys last week. Andrew Luck's erratic form, and by that I mean slow starts, they need to be eradicated. And so is his issues with fumbling the ball. He needs to address that, in fairness. The Titans, they've been awful throughout the season, and you'd expect them to address the quarterback situation in the upcoming draft. The only positives, really, Titan Delaney Walker, wide receiver Kendall Wright, he's not had a bad little run in the team, in fairness. You'd expect head coach Ken Wisenhunt's job to be safe, but you wouldn't want to be a member of the coaching staff, would you? Come tomorrow, I would imagine that pretty much everyone outside Ken Wisenhunt is down the road, signing on Monday. Did he sign on in America? Claim benefits, don't you? I wonder if you sign on. I wonder if it's different. Anyway, let's get on to the 3-12 Jags at the 8-7 Texans. Bizarrely, very bizarrely, the Texans can make the playoffs with a win, coupled with both the Ravens and the Chargers losing. It's an unlikely scenario, but no matter what the outcome is, the Texans, they've quickly turned around the disappointment of what was last season. And all this with, what's his name now? Not the magical mustache, that's all. The beard. The beard was at quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick, boom, there you go. All this with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Case Keenum. And talking of Case Keenum, he will continue at quarterback. J.J. Watt will look to add to his 17.5 sacks. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, he's had a decent season as well. He will be looking to improve on the number of actual passes he's reeled in. He's only caught 5 of his 12 targets last Sunday. The week before that, he only caught 5 of 13 targets. Arian Foster, he's rushed for 96 yards or more when he's been given the ball 20 times plus. As for the Jags, Blake Bortles, well, he's had his up and downs. Not received much out from his O-line or ground game, in fairness. Add to this the number of injuries to the wide receiver group. The Jags, however, they have laid down a few building blocks ahead of next season. But I'm sick of hearing it from these Jags now. They've got to push on. Gus Bradley, I'd say he's possibly, or potentially, next year, if they don't add another couple wins to these 3 and 4 win seasons, he's got to start feeling the water's going to start simmering around his feet, in fairness. Right then, on to the 5-10 Bears at the 6-9 Vikings. Happy face Jay Cutler returns to the starting lineup following an injury to Jimmy Clausen as they look set to end a run of 4 straight defeats. Wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey is on a hot streak, having caught 7 touchdown passes in his last 6 games. In stark contrast to tight end Martellus Bennett, who's had just 1 touchdown in his last 7 games. Matt Forte, he rushed for 117 yards the last time the two met. That's just 1 of 3 games where Forte has gone over 100 yards rushing. As for the Vikings, wide receiver Greg Jennings has had a touchdown in all but 1 of his last 5 games. And running back Matt Asiata has yet to record a rush over 12 yards. Get this, he's not gone over 12 yards off 145 carries. That is shambolic. It's a pleasant way of putting that. Right then, just going to check in on Twitter before we check in on the next game, which is the Bills and the Patriots. So just looking at Twitter at Zone Coverage FS. Excuse me. Yeah, just a lot of back and forth going on between Marty and Rich on Twitter there. So, Zach Martin's also been mentioned as Defensive Rookie of the Year as well. So, I thought, no, hang on. No, it's not. Yeah. Yeah, Zach Martin's been mentioned. Yeah, Evans, Watkins. Yeah, Watkins had, no, I wouldn't say he's had that great a year, but yeah, there's a lot of talk about rookies and stuff going on Twitter. Right then, let's get back to the Bills and the Patriots. 8-7 Bills at the 12 and 13 at the 12-3 Patriots. Patriots never lose at home. Bills, you are doomed. Especially after last week, the Pats were held to a season low of just 231 yards on offense. We knocked Brady out of his Ugg boots, but he did have the last laugh, so I can't boast too much. And that point, 231 yards on offense. The Bills' defense has been exceptional. I expect Belichick to just go to town on the Bills just to prove a point that last week was an anomaly. In fairness, the Pats, they're just going to roll out some running back you've never heard of. He's going to go off about 4,000 yards, have 9 touchdowns, coast into the postseason. Jobs are good, and all hail Bill, and all that sort of nonsense. Anyway, last time out, I've seen a report actually before I get into that the Pats may actually rest Gronk. This was on about, what day are we on? Sunday, maybe Friday when I last looked. I'm not sure what's going to happen if they are or not, so just keep an eye out on that. Brandon LaFell had 2 touchdowns the last time these two met. Brady threw for 361 yards. Kyle Orton last week had a decent game, 3 touchdowns, 329 yards against the Bills, but they stuttered. They absolutely blew it against the Raiders. They got no running game to speak of the Bills. Sammy Watkins last time against the Patriots, he was held to just 27 yards. So, just expect a beat down for the Bills. And I've been quite a fan of the Bills this year. They've been a very, very good outfit, and they've been good to watch. Very good to watch. What are we now? 5-5. Fingers crossed Simon's duck is cooked and he's going to ring in a moment. I think we're just going to chew the fat because fantasy is pretty much done and dusted. Unless you're in a bizarre league where I am, where for some reason the championship game is over 2 legs. I have no idea that even could happen. Anyway, let's keep going on the 9-6 Eagles at the 6-9 Giants, coming off a season-ending 3-game losing streak, and the fort of Sanchez and the MetLife Stadium, a place where he made his name for poor throws and butt fumbles. Eagles fans, you must be having nightmares. Talking of nightmares, Chip Kelly's secondary has been stuck in one for the last few weeks, and that looks set to continue. In fairness, the combination of Eli Manning and rookie sensation of the year, Odell Beckham Jr. Eli Manning has been, deep breath, outstanding. I can't do it. He's been playing well. I can't give Eli that much praise. He's been playing well. He's been throughout the second half of the season, in fairness. Do I really need to heap more praise on Odell Beckham Jr.? Aside of Sanchez, Sean McCoy will be looking to emulate his performance. Let's try that again. LaShawn McCoy will be looking to emulate his performance of when the first meeting between the two, as he tallied up 149 yards from 22 carries. And the more interesting aspect to this game is what happens off the field during the off-season. Do the Giants bring back Coughlin? And what happens at the quarterback position for the Eagles? Sanchez is a free agent. And Foles, they just don't seem sold on Nick Foles. So that is your 9-6 Eagles at the 6-9 Giants. On then into the next game. Oh, this is a bad game. The 6-9 Saints travel to the 2-13 Buccaneers. The Bucs have lost all 5 of their divisional matches and all 7 home games this season. The Saints are usually poor outside the dome. Have somewhat struggled at home this season, and a win in Tampa today, and they'll finish with a better road record than a home record. And who'd have thought that? If you rewind back to September, when everyone pretty much had the Saints in the Super Bowl. The Bucs are looking at a top 2 pick regardless. Defeat means they'll get the number 1 pick overall. Both Vincent Jackson and rookie Mike Evans can top the 1,000 receiving yard mark today. Evans needs 3 more yards. Jackson needs 9 more yards. Why I wrote that down? That's not really that an interesting fact. Anyway, I'm more interested to see what they do at running back. Will we have a muscle hamster sighting? What's happened to Bobby Rainey? Is he injured or what? I have no ideas. I've been all over Drew Brees as well throughout the course of this season. And in fairness, he's not been helped out by a woeful defence. And can Bad Santa deliver one last late present in the form of a decent performance? I'm not going to hold my breath, in fairness. This is a battle between 2 poor teams. Unlike the Eagles and the Giants, it'll be more interesting to see what happens in the off-season off the field than what's going to happen on the field today between the two. On then into The 3-12 Raiders at the 11-4 Broncos. Peyton Manning versus Father Time. There's only one winner here, I'm afraid. All this, the greats, they faltered. Oh, we'll get to that in a moment, because I believe this could be Simon. Hello, Simon.
How are you doing, Mark? It's Simon.
How are you, Simon? Are you well, sir?
Really good, thank you. How are you, sir?
I am very good. It sounds echoey.
It is, because I'm actually phoning, and this is an exclusive for the show, actually, Mark. I am phoning live from my new kitchen.
Whoa.
To which, where you said earlier, yes, I am cooking for the very first time. I know everybody's going to be interested in this, obviously. Roast duck. So it's partly finished, and that's why you can probably hear the echo, actually. So I'm trying to do two things at once, which, being a bloke, is going to be very, very difficult, but I'll try my best, mate.
Yeah, that is. So we got the roast duck on. What veggies and stuff are accompanying the duck today?
Well, we've got a bit of cabbage, we've got a bit of carrot going on there, a bit of turnip, which I'll probably mash up afterwards. I'm cooking the giblets out of the duck as well for a stock and a sauce, and I've got a bottle of red wine out as well. So, and looking forward for a cracking evening's entertainment on the NFL front.
Yeah, you're putting men to shame with that sort of cooking going on there.
I'll be a master chef next year, mate, I tell you. Probably not, though. Probably not like to have food poisoning tomorrow, to be honest. But we shall see anyway.
Yeah, going back then to the football, what's on your horizon today? What jumps out at you?
Well, I'm looking forward to the, as per usual, because I've got Game Pass, so I'm a bit torn, so I think everybody can decide for me which game I should be watching tonight, to be honest, because I'm intrigued to watch Connor Shaw start at quarterback, despite your protestations and Johnny Manziel jokes and all that, so it's probably a good job. And I say jokes in the loosest possible sense there, Mark. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see Connor Shaw play. Now, Connor, just for your listeners out there, Mark, for anybody else actually, that yourself as well. Connor Shaw, nobody's ever heard of him, but he was actually Jadeveon Clowney's quarterback at South Carolina for the last couple of years.
You've sort of beat me to the punch there, because I was going to say, who the hell is this Connor Shaw? But yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought, a snippet of information. I always come with a bit of a snippet of information for you, and that's my snippet for this week. So yeah, intrigued to see how he does. And I hope he does really, really well, actually. I hope he's a little bit of a gem, actually, that nobody's really seen, and can take something forward for the off-season for the Browns. Apart from that, let's have a look. Now, we've got the Carolina Panthers-Atlanta game as well, so that should be... hopefully all hell will break loose there, and it should be a real a real black and blue tough divisional battle and all to play for, as you say, Mark, earlier. If you win, you're in, basically, aren't you, on that one?
Yeah.
The Packers and the Lions, obviously, as well, is going to be a fantastic game to watch. And the Sunday night game as well is going to be fantastic. The AFC, you're talking black and blue battles. The Bengals and the Steelers are going to be at it hammer and tongs, and as you quite rightly say, Mark, they're both in at the playoffs, but it's who's going to win the division. Yeah,
there's a few of these games where you can go, from the 3rd to the 5th seed or 2 seed down. I think the Cardinals can go from 2nd or 6th. They've got all sorts going on, haven't they? Well, absolutely, and the Packers are going to be ruining, aren't they, the fact that they lost against the Bills, aren't they, a couple of weeks ago as well, because they went from, did they go from number 1 seed straight down to 5th or something in the space of one weekend and a loss? Yeah, it was something bizarre, and like you say, that probably will be the game that they'll look back upon and say, didn't do themselves any favours in the long term. No. By the way, has anybody voted for Frank Gore yet? No one. Not one vote. I'm going to vote for Frank Gore then in that case. All right, I'll put you one vote down. Yeah, I mean, they were all fantastic runs, weren't they? Let's be honest about that. The Marshawn Lynch one obviously is the one that's been highlighted the most because of he ran over a couple of defenders en route, didn't he, to the end zone as well. So it was fantastic. And the Seahawks are looking extremely tasty, aren't they, at the moment? I'd probably bet my roast duck that they would probably beat anybody at the moment in the NFC. What do you think? I'm with you on that. The defense has come back, and it's scary. He probably looks better than last year, and I was one of these that sort of was like going cold on the Seahawks. In fairness, they didn't look themselves, but they just look phenomenal. And for me, Russell Wilson always makes the right decision when to pull the ball down and run. Always. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you talked about Johnny Football earlier. Johnny, if you're listening, and I know you do, if you're listening, mate,
just look at all the videotape of Russell Wilson. That's how you should be playing quarterback, Johnny. Hope you learn in the off season, and I hope you have a good off season and come back strong for the Browns next year. Otherwise, you're out, mate.
Yeah, that'd be a bad first round pick wasted.
Well, it would, and Justin Gilbert as well, of course. You know, the Browns' 2 first-round draft picks. Gilbert, the cornerback's been a complete waste of time as well, not taking his rookie season seriously, or as seriously as he should do. Because the boy's got talent, let's be honest. The boy has got talent. But it remains to be seen, really, how he does. But enough of the Browns. I get sick of talking about the Browns, even though it's because so much is happening with them, isn't it, all the time?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just like them to be quite normal and nothing much happening and be very consistent and keep winning. But that's obviously not happened. And you've got the Three Stooges. You've got Gilbert, as we just talked about, Manziel, and of course Josh Gordon, who you mentioned earlier in the show as well, all being in trouble lately for disciplinary reasons, shall we say. Yeah.
Do we know what's gone on with Josh Gordon then?
He went to Manziel's party.
Seriously, that's what happened?
Yeah, he went to Manziel's Christmas party on Friday night, the day before they were doing the sort of the walkthrough of the game, and they both turned up late, I think, because of that. And idiots. And so therefore, I mean, Manziel was out anyway with his pulled hamstring. Gordon's been benched basically for the game. He's not active. So that's him done for the season as well. So, yeah, thanks, Josh. I know you're a listener as well. Complete waste of time this season, mate. Complete write-off. I'm in two minds about whether the Browns should get rid of him or not. I'm tending to think they probably should. Keep Manziel, definitely, because I think he's certainly got talent. He's just got to put his... He's just got to play on field like he says. He talks a good game, but, he's not showing it at the moment, so we'll just have to see what the off-season... provides there. However, just moving away from the Browns, Mark, I was having to think about sort of that offensive and defensive rookie of the year as well. So I've got a couple of thoughts for you. Obviously, everybody's talked about Odell Beckham. Yeah. Kelvin Benjamin, for the wide receiver, the big wide receiver, the Carolina Panthers. He's had an excellent year as well, considering the Panthers haven't been, overly successful, apart from tonight when they actually could win the division, but really, really impressed with Kelvin Benjamin, especially his size as well. And we talked about Mike Evans as well. I think we've talked about him, quite a few times over the last few weeks as well, and you certainly have on the show. We have on the Dundee NFL podcast. Quick plug there. But definitely those three, I think, for offence. Were you talking defence as well, Mark?
Yeah, defence got a few mentions, yeah.
Yeah, I think some of the guys out there mentioned Aaron Donald, the defensive tackle for the St. Louis Rams. He's had a cracker of a season as well. Perhaps doesn't get recognised as much as he perhaps should do. I think your guy, I think you mentioned him earlier, or you certainly mentioned about the Baltimore Ravens rookie. Was it C.J. Mosley you were talking about?
Yes, Mosley, that was it. I couldn't think of his name. Khalil Mack got a mention as well.
Yeah, Mosley, the linebacker, had really, really excellent. And just to throw sort of somebody else in as well, Kyle Fuller, the cornerback for the Chicago Bears. Obviously not noticed as much because the Bears have been hammered quite regularly this season as well, but he's done actually a tremendous job. Just somebody else. He's been really, really good. He's come in, he's stepped up. He's everything that we've just talked about. Justin Gilbert, the cornerback of the Browns, should have been, and the Browns took Gilbert ahead of Fuller. A few stats on Fuller, actually. 13 games this year. He's accumulated 57 combined tackles, 10 passes defence, 3 interceptions, and 3 forced fumbles.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah, because he had that game, was it the 49ers game where he had 2 picks?
Yeah, he was just everywhere, wasn't he? Or he seemed to be anyway, didn't he? Just somebody that probably hasn't been mentioned, but yeah, Cal Fuller, somebody probably, because he's on a sort of a very unsuccessful team, they don't seem to get mentioned, do they, in these things. Same with the MVP player candidates as well. I think, generally speaking, you've got to be on a successful, winning team, make the playoffs, and see where you go from there. Just wanted, finally, Mark, just last thing I really wanted to say as well, you were talking about the Pro Bowl earlier as well, and one really, really notable miss for me. We talked about C.J. Mosley, the guy who I think is currently the best linebacker in the league is DeAndre Levy for the Detroit Lions. Yeah. He's had an absolutely immense year in that Lions defense, which has been fantastic.
I'm definitely with you. I'm with you on that. I remember doing the quarter season review 4 weeks in. DeAndre Levy was on my list then for the best linebacker.
Yeah, it just tremendous. He's absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, he can defend the pass. He can stop the running back. He can sack the quarterback. They've got him sort of, you know, using all his weapons, all his skills. He's everywhere on the field. He sort of leads that. Well, he seems to anyway. He seems to lead that Lions defense. He's there. He's spying the quarterback if that's the case as well. So he seems to do absolutely everything. And I think it's a real shame that he's been unrecognised.
Yeah, the same for Luke Kuechly's mate Thomas Davis. He always gets overlooked as well, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And I'm trying to think the guy for the Russell would know this one. Russell, if you're listening, the guy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the linebacker there as well, whose name I've just suddenly escaped me. If I remember it, I'll tweet it out to you later. But yeah, there's a few there that just because they're sort of on either unfashionable teams or teams that haven't been doing so well doesn't mean to say they haven't been performing well individually either.
No, the one that got me as Megatron got in, he's done nothing really, but Golden Tate sort of carried the team when Megatron was injured. I didn't get that selection.
No, I didn't either. They just get it on reputation, don't they? Now, we're not saying that Megatron's a bad player.
Oh, no.
We're just not saying he's still one of the best receivers in the league. He's just, because of injuries, he's just not featured as much this season. I mean, when he's playing, yeah, okay, he's very difficult to cover, isn't he? As we've seen, but these guys deserve it, don't they? Like I say, Golden Tate's been there. He's been there all the time. He's carried the team under, because the Lions' offense has been pretty poor all season. Let's be honest, the defense has pretty much carried that team, but he's carried the offense almost single-handedly.
Yeah, there's been a few like that. I thought Eddie Lacy might have even sneaked in. He's been a good back as well.
He has, absolutely. Unrecognised again, and he's the go-to guy on the running game for the Packers. He's sort of very, very similar to sort of Marshawn Lynch, isn't he, in terms of his running style. He's a bit of a beast, isn't he? He packs a punch, certainly. The former, I think it was Alabama, wasn't it? Which is, again, if Trent Richardson he's turned out to be, would have been quite successful, but unfortunately hasn't. But yeah, Lacey as well is another one, isn't he, that perhaps you should be thinking, why hasn't he got that recognition?
Yeah. Going back to the Tampa Bay linebacker, Richard Tinley at Tinley24's dug us out of a hole. Levante David.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Richard. Yes. Levante David, again, somebody completely unrecognised, but like DeAndre Levy does an absolutely stellar job every single weekend.
Yeah. He also mentions about Gilbert. He says, Gilbert's a slow burner at corner. He says, be year 3 before you see how good he really is.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that as well, actually. He's very, very difficult, isn't he? You certainly that. Well, to me, it's the hardest position to play in the league by a long way. Certainly, the way the rules are these days, sort of, in terms of the way that the offense, it's sort of bent in the way of the offense, isn't it? And the cornerback is such a hard position to play because you can't lay your hands on the receivers at all. So yeah, I think so. I think he'll learn. He's got Joe Hayden there as well, who's obviously turned out to be one of the Pro Bowler again this year. Turned out to be one of the very, very best cornerbacks in the league, probably in the top 3. To mentor him. So yeah, I'm quite hopeful for Gilbert, and which is probably right. Actually, probably year 2 or year 3, definitely.
Brilliant. Right then, Simon, I feel we should maybe let you go just in case your cooking sort of goes a little wrong and the duck burns, and I don't want you tweeting me later with a picture of this blackened plate and saying thanks.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you start hearing me coughing in the next few minutes, it's probably over all the black smoke that's coming out of my oven at the
moment. There'll be a distant beeping of your fire alarm, and then we'll just hear you at the deck.
Definitely.
Did you have a good Christmas and everything, by the way, before you go?
Yeah, really, really busy. Thanks, Mark. Obviously, with the kids and everything, but yeah, been fantastic as per usual. It's great, isn't it, seeing them open the presents on Christmas Day and having all the fun. And I think I'm a bigger kid than all of them, to be honest, and playing with everybody's toys and stuff. So. Yeah, it's been really, really good. Thanks very much for asking.
Oh, it's good to hear. Talking of at Dundee NFL, podcast-wise, what have you got coming up for us?
I think we're on a break. We did record this week, funnily enough. I'm not sure if I don't think it's been put out there, so it might be sort of a slightly belated, still worth listening to, obviously. It might be a belated podcast in terms of it might be out there in the next couple of days, because Russell has been poorly. Get well soon, Russell, if you're listening, mate. So he's had a bit of flu over the last few days, so he's been a bit under the weather. So I'll try and get that out as soon as possible. I don't think we're podcasting this week due to the new year, but we'll be back hopefully stronger than ever in the new year.
Brilliant. So if everyone keeps an eye on at Dundee NFL, and as soon as I see anything, I'll get that retweeted and that for you as well, buddy.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Anytime. Right then, I shall let you go. Go enjoy your duck, and I shall, we'll figure something out for what we're doing going forward, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Just before I go, I just want to wish yourself, your family, all your listeners a very, very happy new year.
I appreciate that, buddy. You too.
Thank you very much.
Have a great one, Simon. I'll speak to you soon.
Mate.
See you,
All
mate.
right, bye-bye.
Bye. And that's Simon from at Dundee NFL. So, again, once they drop a new pod, I'll get that tweeted out to you. So a massive thank you to Simon, Russell and Martin, all involved in at Dundee NFL there. They've done an absolutely outstanding job. I know we've made a few laughs and jokes about Simon's picking all Giants and stuff, but yeah, he's done an absolutely outstanding job, and I'll definitely be having these boys back if they are willing to come back next year and keep this Fantasy 5 at 5 going. Right then, let's reel off these games. The last couple of games. I think I got on to the Raiders, Broncos. The only sort of notes I've got here is what is it now? The Raiders, their running game. It's been a bit of a mess. What's his name? Latavius Murray, he's sort of picked up the slack. The question regarding the Raiders running game, does anyone see McFadden and MJD actually playing another snap within the NFL going forward? Running back wise, expect CJ Anderson for the Broncos to carry on just pounding the rock, as that's what the Broncos have been doing. Talking of Khalil Mack, he has a game time decision today. Derek Carr, can he halt the record of 10 straight road defeats as he signs off what's been a pretty impressive rookie season for Derek Carr, in fairness? On then to the 11-4 Cardinals at the 7-8 49ers. This team, Cardinals, you look up adversity in the dictionary, you'll see Arizona Cardinals. They face yet another tough test of character as they need a win, and the Seahawks lost to ensure a first-round bye and potential home field advantage throughout the playoff. No idea who's starting at quarterback for the Cardinals. I've seen about 10 different names. So all you need to know about the 49ers, Colin Kaepernick is rubbish. I'm only joking. Kaepernick, he actually showed some flashes of his early career form by rushing for 151 yards against the Chargers. Talking of rushing, it's also good to see Frank Gore, who's only had one vote on this week's Hot Route. He went for over 100 yards again. The Cardinals, well, they've got no running game to speak of. The game, again, rests on the shoulders of this defense. Look for rookie wide receiver John Brown to have another good game. Last time the two met, he had 2 touchdowns. On then into the 6-9 Rams at the 11-4 Seahawks. Seahawks, it's simple for them. They can clinch the West with a win, or basically bettering the Cardinals' result. More importantly, they will get home field advantage if they win, and the Packers, Lions don't tie or the Cowboys lose. Basically, in the NFC, you're screwed because the journey to Arizona, it's going to go through Seattle, I'm afraid. That is not good. The last time these two met, and if you are off over Christmas and you've got some spare time, and there's nothing on telly because it's just repeats of Come Dine With Me and all that sort of rot. Go back to the first game, Seahawks-Rams. It was one of the best games of this season. There was a fake punt deep in Rams territory. It was an outstanding game. The Rams, they could not stop Russell Wilson. It was immense. Just I highly recommend it. Just go back and watch that. Marshawn Lynch, again, keep an eye out for him. He's just going off at the moment. Lynch looks the absolute business. Trey Mason and Kenny Britt for the Rams as well. Kenny Britt looks a much improved player, in fairness. He had his off the field issues over the course of the last couple of years, but he seems to have his head finally on his shoulders the correct way going forward. The Rams, my main criticism of the Rams, you're in the toughest division, many will argue, within the NFL. You can compete in that. Outside of the division, you're rubbish. I don't get it. The Rams should be a better team than what they are. That defense, very, very good. So that is the 6 and 9 Rams at the 11 and 4 Seahawks. 12 minutes left of the show. I did do a not so great 8, so it's only fair that I sort of reel through those quickly. Right then, so let's go. Where's my not so great 8 gone? What we will do though, we will wrap up the new format of the Hot Route. And again, if you missed that, tune in next week. The Hot Route going forward, it's going to be something different, like a touchdown run, pass, sack, whatever I can basically find the radio comms of without getting sued. Hopefully that won't happen because I mentioned the source where it came from. But we had Marshawn Lynch today as touchdown run against the Cardinals, Jeremy Hill his touchdown run against the Broncos, and Frank Gore's touchdown run against the the Chargers. Yes, and surprised me, Jeremy Hill beat out Marshawn Lynch in the voting by one vote. So Jeremy Hill clinched it. He is the winner, so he can now sleep soundly knowing that a little radio show across the pond's listeners voted him the best rushing touchdown of Week 16. So everyone that voted, check that out and like the idea. Awesome stuff. I appreciate your votes and contacting the show. Right then, let's get into... Where's it gone? It should be here somewhere. I've lost me not so great 8. Yeah, not so great 8. What is not so great 8, I hear you say? Right then, it's basically power rankings flipped completely upside down. Not going from 32 to 1. I base it on what I've seen over the course of the last few weeks. And then pick who I feel has been absolutely rubbish. The bottom of the division, regardless of standings. And then we call it the not so great 8. 8 teams, 8 divisions. Pure genius, my end. This week, I'm doing a twist. Heroes and villains of each division as well. Right then. So let's go. AFC East. I need my sounder as well, don't I? I've got boos and cheers and stuff. So right then. Me AFC East, not so great 8. No shocker. Last time out it was the Jets. Once again, the Jets find themselves bottom of the AFC East. So there we go. Boos for the Jets. I nearly pressed cheers. That would have been very, very odd. I've lost me of it. Oh, we usually have this little sounder, don't we? I don't know what your preference is. Either way, damn awful from those Jets of mine. And then let's get into the heroes and villains of this division. For me, the heroes of the AFC East, the team that I feel has overachieved from what going at the beginning of the season, I got the Bills down basically as winning 3 or 4 games. A chance to be above 500 or 500, I forget now off the top of my head. But for me, the Buffalo Bills, they've been absolutely outstanding. Their worst case scenario, 8 and 8. This is all with the magical mustache on the centre. This awesome defense, which has held Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers. Well, not held them, made them look human. What's not to like about this team? In fairness. Oh wait, EJ Emanuel. That's the only downside to this Bills team. Give these a quarterback and sky's the limit. So the heroes of this team are the Buffalo Bills, and the villains, me Jets make a clean sweep. I had them scraping a wild card. They finished the bottom of the division. So heroes of the division for me, the Bills overachieved, and the Jets, they underachieved in my eyes. Right then, on into the AFC West. Last time out, the Chiefs held their spot. Chiefs has shown me absolutely nothing that will make me move them from the bottom spot. Just one win in their last 5 games. They've scored over 20 points just once. That was against the Raiders, who themselves have won 3 of their last 5 games, including a game against the Chiefs. Also beat the 49ers and the Bills. So, the Chiefs, you, my friend, if I can find the button, you get booed. That's what I think. The Chiefs, you also, you stink. You remain bottom and the not-so-great 8 feature. The heroes of the division, this one, a tough one. I'm getting Raiders. But basically, a bold decision early doors. Fired Dennis Allen, Derek Carr has shown promise, and everyone else apart from my villain team has sort of lived up to the expectations and fairness. So that is that. The Chiefs, yeah, is that right? I mean, mine's gone blank. No, yeah, to the Raiders, you get the heroes, and that's that right, yeah. Yeah, I can't read my writing. Heroes of the division are the Raiders. And my villain team, which many will say it's very harsh, but I picked the Chargers as my villain team. They didn't achieve what I expected them to. I thought that they would top the West. They didn't. So the Chiefs finished where I thought they'd finish. The Broncos, again, thereabouts. Thought the Chiefs had knocked them off, but it didn't happen. So the Chargers, you're the villains of the division. I know it's controversial, but I had to pick someone. On then into the AFC South. Last time out, this was the Titans. Once again, the Titans has proved to be as consistently bad as the Jets. Currently on a 9-game losing streak. 6 of those games, they failed to score more than 17 points. They've just basically given up. So, the Texans, I'm afraid the Texans, you absolutely stink. Hero and villains-wise, the heroes for me, easy pick in this division. I did not see the Texans doing what they've done this year. Bill O'Brien done an excellent job. Arian Foster, he's been very good when healthy. They also got the league MVP and JJ Watt, who turned into an offensive weapon this year. Case Keenum, he gave up hunting last Monday and then came in and killed off the Ravens' playoff hopes. So the Texans, you're the heroes of the division on the year for me. The villains, it'd be too easy to say the Titans. And they deserve crap, basically. They've give up, but I'm going to go with the Jags. This off-season narrative of it's a young and upcoming team, it's never come to fruition. I know injuries have killed them, but I expected more from the Jags. So the villains, for me, are the Jaguars in the South. And then into the AFC North, last time out for the not-so-great 8-part. The Browns are bottom. No shock here. The Browns remain bottom. They just lack fight and they've just been consistently bad. Sticking with the theme of the Browns, they also get my hero pick, which is bizarre for what they've done this year. Mike Patton, he's made them competitive. They managed all this pre-season Mandel hype perfectly up until like a couple of weeks ago. They had a shot at the postseason for the first time in years. So whilst the Browns, form-wise of late, you find yourself bottom of the not-so-great 8, I do give you the hero pick of the division. You overachieved. You put on some damn good performances, and with Hoyer and all that. Amid all that controversy, I like what Mike Patton's done. Very good job. Villain-wise, tough one, mate, for me. I had the Steelers as a sneaky team for getting out of the division. Don't care for the Bengals, so that leaves the Ravens. I feel that the Ravens sort of let me down this year. They were swept by the Bengals. They threw a game away against the Chargers. Squeaked past the Jags. Last week they got schooled by Case Keenum. So for me, the Ravens are the villains of the division. They were the biggest letdown. On then into the NFC East. Last time out, not so great 8-wise, was the Washington Redskins. And while they've won just one of their last 7 games and amid all the quarterback controversy, just been the Redskins. But I've seen a glimpse of hope for RG3 fans going forward. And with that, plus the implosion of the Eagles, who've lost the last 3, including the game against the Redskins, plus 2 at home, you move to the bottom. So, the Eagles. NFL news. Yeah, you get the wrong sounder. That's how bad you are, Eagles fans. Right then, hero-wise, for me, got to be the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are the heroes of this division. Like everyone else, I was predicting doom and gloom for this defense. Best win scenario was 3 games. I was wrong. I admit it. Cowboys fans, I was wrong. I apologise for writing you off. I hold my hands up. And congratulations on an outstanding season, regardless of what happens in the playoffs. So, villain-wise, tough one for me. If I'm honest, I thought the Redskins would be in the mix. Had the Giants as average. Eagles pushing. So, Redskins, you're the villains of this division for me. It's just been a mixed bag. I've not liked what's gone on behind the scenes. So, Redskins, you're villain-wise of the NFC East. Into the West, not so great 8-wise. Last time out was the 49ers. I was tempted to put the Cardinals here, but I got to stick with the 49ers. They've lost 4 on the bounce now, scored over 14 points just the once, and that was in the Chargers game, which they let a 21-point lead slip. So the 49ers, if I can find the right sounder, which is proving difficult today. Yeah, you're a pile of rubbish. Hero and villain-wise, it's a tough one, as I had the Cardinals going to the playoffs basically at the expense of the 49ers, the Rams being the Rams. So, in truth, it was like the only division I sort of nailed. I'm going to go with the Cards, as no team has battled adversity better than this group in my eyes. Was tempted to share this with the Seahawks, in fairness for the hero. So, Cardinals, you get like the hero of the division pick here. Villain-wise, 49ers, it'd be too easy. I can't kill them because I said they'd have an off year. I killed the Jags for not pushing on. So the Rams suffer the same fate. They compete very hard in the division, but outside of it, they're a letdown. Rams, you've got to do a better job. So the Rams, you get the villain of your division. I'm afraid that is harsh, but I expected the 49ers to take a step back. Cardinals and the Seahawks, you can't really knock them for what they're doing. On then into the South. Not so great 8-wise. Last time out it was the Saints, and it's tough. Both the Bucs and the Saints are complete garbage. They play each other today, and that's going to be some tough viewing, but I'm going to stick with the Saints. The Saints, it's been a woeful last few weeks for you guys. So, hero-wise, Cam Newton and co. Basically, because we all laughed. Let's just cast your mind back to the off-season. Cam Newton, the Panthers, the receivers that they'd assembled, everyone was like, whoa, what is going on there? That is a really bad group of wide receivers. But they found a gem in Calvin Benjamin. Greg Olsen, the second best tight end in the league, only to Gronk in my eyes. Luke Kuechly as well, linebacker, another great player. So the heroes of the division, tough. It was tough to pick a hero of this division, but the Carolina Panthers are the hero team of the NFC South in my eyes. Villain-wise, it's a no-brainer. Nobody, and I mean nobody, had got the Saints down for this kind of implosion. On the road, maybe, but 5 straight home defeats, that's got to have alarm bells ringing in New Orleans. So the Saints, villain-wise, of the NFC South. On then into the final division, which is kind of good because I'm a minute over the show. The NFC North, Bears, last time out, not so great 8-wise. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Bears, you suck. You remain bottom of the division. And whilst I'm at it, you're getting the villain award. I don't see how such a talented offense can just put out such an abysmal performance week after week after week. So the Bears, not so great 8-wise, you stink, can't be bothered, play the sounder. You get the villain of the division award as well. Hero pick. This was a tough one as well. The Lions would have had this, but if you cast your mind back, I think it was episode 3 or 4, I did a huge portion of the show going over the wide receiver numbers alongside Megatron, and how I think I asked, are the Lions a legitimate Super Bowl shot? So based on that, I can't then say the Lions are the heroes of the division because I sort of rated them up there anyway. So I'm afraid, well, not afraid, I give praise, and it's probably the only award that they're going to get, but the gloved wonder, Teddy Bridgewater and the gang, the Minnesota Vikings, you get the Heroes of the Division award. I like what Teddy's done. I think he's looked okay, battling all the AP nonsense and all that. So that is it. Minnesota Vikings, you can sail off into the sunset now, knowing that your life is complete. You get the Hero of the Division award from me. And with that wraps up the regular season nonsense that I spew out as we episode 24 draws to a conclusion, and it's quite sad really. Next time round there's hardly going to be as many games to talk about. It's quite I'm just going to take a moment and just soak in. I hope this Sunday is absolutely going to be fantastic. Some great games on the card. So just have a look. Just seen a tweet go up there. Right then. So yeah, that is that. So everyone that's tweeted in today, much appreciated. There's way too many to go over. The guys in the Spreaker room as well, John and Noel, who popped up, appreciate that. Everyone that voted on the new hot route, hoping you're liking that format going forward. Seems to have gone down really well, so that's good. That is it. iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spreaker. Search Zone Coverage Football Show on any of them. Listen live, listen back in the form of a podcast. Leave us ratings, leave us feedback, retweets, sharing of the page. Anything that you can continue to do to help spread the word about the show is very much appreciated. No Wednesday walkthrough. It's going to be maybe Tuesday. I'm going to have to go. TC's Tuesday take, something like that. So that's going to come Tuesday. Probably going to be late evening, around about 5-6 o'clock. I will let you know as soon as I know what my plans are. So there will be like a Wednesday walkthrough, but on a Tuesday. So you will have a results show, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And then next Sunday we'll be back as normal, another 90 minutes show going forward. So that is it. That's everything done and dusted. Keep following the show at Zone Coverage FS. The number 01618184593. T Smister on Skype. All that's left for me to say is, I'll speak to you on Tuesday, but in case that doesn't happen, have a absolutely fantastic New Year. Take care on whatever you're doing. Hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas. And if you've joined me again today, and live or in the form of a podcast, very much appreciated. And just enjoy what remains of your holidays and Week 17, the regular season finale. Enjoy, go forth, multiply, enjoy the pigskin and all that. And remember, until Tuesday, hustle, hit, and never quit.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Unable to listen live? We've got that covered. Simply search the Zone Coverage Football Show in either iTunes or Stitcher Radio. And don't forget to subscribe. All our shows and details on how to call into the show can be found on the website www.zonecoveragefootballshow.com.